Hi everyone, it's Ildi and I'm back with another video reviewing some true crime type documentaries or documentaries in general. Most of them are on the Netflixes, although I now have Amazon Prime, so I might do some from there. I literally watched this I finished like about a minute ago, and I had to sit down. I didn't put in any makeup or fix my hair or my outfit or anything. Because it was like, wow. It's another Ron Howard, Brian Grazier produced Netflix series called Web of Make-Believe, Death, Lies, and the Internet. So this is a series. So each episode is kind of like a standalone. Who knows, I might do one on each episode. This was the first episode, and it's called Death by Swat. And it's about this trend that was happening in 2015-ish, where gamers were calling in calling the police or 911 and reporting fake bomb threats, fake kidnapping, like all that kind of stuff to get the buildings evacuated or the SWAT team out. And kind of they challenged each other to see like who can get a bigger building, or what kind of things will be dispatched. So like bomb robot-y thing, or the police dog, or a SWAT team, or just the local police, or whatever. So I guess this was a trend a while ago. I remember it vaguely in the news, but I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to it. So I didn't know too much about it. It's really well done, and talk about layers of shit that this makes one thing. So it's kind of a story of one guy who got arrested and how he came to become a swatter. Essentially he was a teenager at first, and he had a shit life before. So I think his mom died, like it was quite traumatic past. He was living with his grandma and had nobody, and basically online gaming was his thing. And eventually how a bet and conversations between multiple gamers led to, like, I guess, instigating each other to swat a house where someone was actually killed. And I mean, they talk about all the different players. So the 3 kids that were playing that were involved in the altercation, and of course the actual family of the person that was shot innocently, and which is now really also about, actually let me summarize. So it's so layered because it's about one kid's traumatic upbringing that led him to escape essentially into gaming. It's about relationships or lack thereof with reality between the 3 kids. It's about the family of the victim, who themselves went through a series of traumatic incidents not before even the death. And then the law enforcement that eventually, one guy who shot the innocent guy, who has, surprise, turned out to have a history of being trigger happy and having issues with being aggressive and all that kind of stuff. So it's about the justice system as well, and how, well, I'll let you watch it, but basically it's also about accountability for police, which I know is a big topic in itself, and the shit that went down and the impact it had on the family of the victim after all of it. I mean, I should preface this by saying I have worked with youth for over 15 years, almost 20 years now. And 10 years of that was in the justice system, working with kids who are criminally involved. So like the main character guy who essentially did the calling of the SWAT that led to the death would have been quintessentially one of the clients that I would have had. I didn't work in the system late enough. Like I left that field a long time ago, so I didn't have to really deal with internet related stuff. But he is exactly the type of clients kind of that I would had. So one of the main things in when you're working with young offenders is, well, in Canada, I should say, I don't know, the US is completely different. It's very much more of, I almost want to say social work based, if you will, and understanding that the brain doesn't develop till a certain time. So consequences, like all of those kind of, I guess, philosophical discussions on like the biological development of youth and like strategies and how to perceive like the things that they do. So it's kind of separating the young person from, not separating, but looking at the young person aside from their crimes as well. So in this case, we would have looked at the trauma that this kid had before, and his lack of relationships and all these, I guess, negative factors. So it's kind of like weighing the balance of kind of predicting what kind of behavior he would have. Right now, I feel like the swatting has died down. I don't think we've heard about it for a while, and now it's more like radicalization, and joining, well, I guess radical movements, the whole incel thing, and those have a much, I don't want to say much more, but like they have a direct consequence negatively on community. Not that the swatting didn't, but other than the one shooting or the one known shooting, it was a little bit different. And as I mature, I also have a harder time doing this separation that I was asked to do. Again, not separation, because we do have to look at the young person's crime, and we dealt with that as well. But I'm having a harder time doing that, which is good because I'm not in that field anymore. And this is a perfect case of, it's like, it was the perfect storm. So yes, there was an officer that did the shooting, and then there was the 3 kids that were precipitated the shooting. It almost kind of makes me think of the Manson thing, where he rallied the troops kind of thing, and I don't think he physically actually killed anyone in that one incident with Sharon Tate. But it's like, where does accountability start and end? And also, like, as a youth worker, or people who work with youth, like, how do you work on the person in a system that's also pretty fucked? Holy crap. Anyways, all this to say, it makes me think of a lot of stuff. I think I'm not even editing it. I'm just putting this out right the way it is. I hope to God it's fine. I'm not putting anything fancy on it. Not that it was that fancy before, but basically I saw this 5 minutes ago, and fuck, you have to watch it. It's gonna make you think. If you have teenagers, good luck to you with TikTok and all. But seriously, I think this series was needed in a really quite reflective of the times where the internet, you know, wow. That's all I have to say. We all know this. If anyone has any thoughts, mention it in the comments. Again, I always say this, you know, comments are welcome, but keep it positive, even though the topics aren't per se. I don't have the capacity or the time to deal with anything other than positive crap on the internet. Hence this documentary too. And so, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, or if you have any other wisdom. But this was kind of off the top of my head, rambling on the issues in this documentary. Highly recommend